What's up, everybody? Thanks for checking in with Callie. Please like, subscribe if you haven't. So it looks like the Clippers have reached the top of the mountain. They've definitely got there. They definitely earned it, and they definitely have put the work in. They've since November 17th, I believe, they're 27-7. The month of December, they were undefeated, and this month is going strong as well. They did have a little hiccup last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers, but I mean, for the most part, I mean, they're still an overly dominant team. We all know, they can beat the Cleveland Cavaliers if it really came down to it. So that's really not an issue. But my point is this. The Clippers have been overly dominant. You know, Kawhi has been playing at an elite level. So has Paul George for the most part of the year, along with, Russell Westbrook. And all of them been playing their part, for the most part. And it's been a collective effort. Some nights you'll see, Kawhi have big numbers. Some nights you'll see Paul George. Some nights you'll see James Harden. And then, hey, I mean, even Russell Westbrook, the last few games, dating back about a week and a half ago, he's had like a couple of his best games of the season, So, I mean, it's really the big four has really been a standout. And really other teams are, really trying to find ways to counteract what the Clippers do. They're just really too good, honestly. I mean, if you have to play them in a 7-game series, I mean, it's going to be overly tough. And, right now, thinking about how good their team is, of course, the team that a lot of people would have put them up against is the Denver Nuggets. Now, right now, power rankings wise, the Clippers, are ranked number 1. And they should be because, like I said, they've had the best record in the league since November 17th, dating back to last year. And they went undefeated a whole month, and pretty much in December. So it's like when you think about that, this team is dominant. This team has good, role players that play their role well. And the star players are just playing their role as the star, you know what I'm saying? And they're playing it very well. Of course, there's nights where you'll see them have hiccups and things like that. But I mean, it's 82-game season. And you look at their offensive rating, their defensive rating is off the charts. And I mean, honestly, their best player, Kawhi Leonard, I mean, he's been shooting 50, 40, 90 in the last, I'd say 19 plus games out of the last 21 games that's been played where he's missed like, I think 1 or 2 out of that. I mean, so he's playing at a very high level. Definitely should have been an all-star starter, maybe even possibly Paul George, been an all-star starter too, because Paul George, throughout the beginning of the season, Paul George really started out. He really kicked things off, for this team. And, Kawhi was, catching his rhythm a little bit because, Kawhi had been out and, had the knee injury and things like that. But, I mean, Kawhi has picked up beautifully. And now it's a little bit more gelling between everybody since the arrival of James Harden also because the passing is there. They have their point guard. And, the pick and roll with James Harden is very, very effective, especially when Zubac comes back, in which I think they kind of missed Zubac a little bit within the game of them playing the Cleveland Cavaliers the other night. They got the Wizards tonight. So, I mean, maybe that's, I feel like that should just be a victory all on its own. But either way, like I said, the Clippers are still the top team in the league to me, even though they might not necessarily have the best record, as in like number 1 seed or something like that. But it's coming, I believe. I really do. The Clippers have really been playing at a high clip, and I don't think nobody really can deny what, they've been doing and how great they've actually been playing. And you got to give Ty Lue some credit. I give Ty Lue a lot of slack. I mean, a lot of issues in regards to that. But, I mean, he's been coaching very well in regards to, getting the team ready, having them ready, against every opponent. Now, against that Lakers game, not the last Lakers game, but the prior one, that was questionable. But either way, the Clippers have been, really, they've just been the best team in the league, since dating back last year in November. And I don't think nobody can deny that. I mean, they have been playing a lot more defense collectively. And now when I watch a lot of games, I'm looking at James Harden, going out there, and he's actually moving his feet a little bit better on the defensive end. The defensive rotations are just becoming more evident with this team and how they decide how they're planning to attack teams and how they, jump over screens, run out to the 3-point line, don't leave assignments, don't lag. I mean, it's like they're just really they're really perfecting the fundamentals, I would say, on the defensive end. They're really actually doing the little things that's making them a very decent to very, very good defensive team overall. Of course, with having Kawhi there and PG, you're going to definitely be in the running for a top defensive defensive team because those two wings are just elite defensively, and Kawhi is the elite of the elite because he can just disrupt anything a team is doing on his own, even without James Harden and Paul George at times. So it's like, Kawhi's bag is just different, and really the Clippers bag all on its own is just different as a team. I mean, you have somebody like Russell Westbrook coming off the bench who can come out there and drop 20 plus points at any given time, who brings that energy every night, and he's one of the leaders of this team too. I'll definitely say Kawhi is the quiet leader and Russ is probably the vocal leader. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we call balance. And that's what you want. You want balance in between a team like that. Of course, everybody looks at the best player on teams as a leader, but there could be other leaders on a team. They could lead in different ways and get the guys going. And when you look at somebody like Russell Westbrook, I feel like he's been a lot to this team, way more than what he was to the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? His value speaks, volumes, in this situation. And we got to give definitely some credit to Terrence Mann. Also, he was struggling a little bit in the beginning of the season, or when he came off that injury, his 3-point shot wasn't really there. Now he's shooting a lot better. He's shooting with more confidence, and he's not really thinking. He's going out there playing, and that's what they need out of Terrence Mann. A young stud like him, go out there and just play, because your game is going to flourish playing with all these Hall of Famers. It's only going to get better. It's not going to get worse. So go out there and just have fun, be yourself, and play within your means, and you'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what I feel like he's doing, and I feel like they're getting a big contribution out of him. Norman Powell, definitely enough said about him. He's just a walking bucket coming off the bench. He can drop 20 points, 20 plus points any game he wants to. If he was in the starting lineup, my goodness, I think they would really be tough then, honestly. I mean, offensively. But, I mean, of course, him coming off the bench is perfect because that gives Terrence Mann the opportunity to be in the starting lineup, where it gives them more defense with a little bit of offense, more so than what Norman Powell would give, and I'm definitely okay with that. Only thing I feel like they kind of need to do, which will happen, Zubac will eventually come back, but I mean, wow, the way Tice and Plumlee is playing off of one another, it's just really a beautiful thing to watch. And of course, Zubac definitely deserves a spot when he comes back to be the starter again, because Zubac is the grinder in the paint. And, he plays that pick and roll perfectly with James Harden, which allows James Harden to be more effective offensively as well. So, I mean, that all on its own makes them, even more deadly when they add one of their starting pieces back once he gets back in rhythm and everything. So thinking about this in its entirety, the Clippers definitely deserve to be at the top of the power rankings because, like I said, they've been playing the best basketball. And honestly, they look like the best team in the NBA. And I feel like the Nuggets, as I alluded to earlier, they're a good team, and they're definitely, the champs. You got to show them that respect. But the Nuggets definitely are looking around the corner at the Clippers. They definitely are. And I don't think this will be a reenactment of the bubble by any stretch, because, I mean, you play this Clippers team, you're going to get everything they got plus more. I can see it going 7 games, but I see the Clippers actually edging that one out if they actually had to play in a 7-game series. So hopefully the Clippers can stay healthy, which is their biggest, always been their biggest issue. Hopefully they can stay healthy and continue to keep it going, and, see if they can rise up for a championship.